Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're not going back very far, but it's an absolutely essential album that will blow your mind. It's 2007 and the Noisettes album, What's the Time, Mr. Wolf. For those people who wanted to make the claim that real rock and roll, authentic rock and roll, original rock and roll was dead, every single second of this album disproves that in every possible way. The sound that you hear all across this album manages to balance that garage rock, really stripped down and raw sound with some of the most intense energy, fierce rhythms, and outright catchy hooks you've ever heard. Throughout this album, you can hear a dazzling combination of deep blues and outright punk mastery, and the sound and spirit they bring here is unlike anything else you've ever heard. Even when things get a bit more mellow or they slow the rhythm down a bit, there's still a swing and a tension that you just can't get enough of. The drums are wonderfully unsettling at times, and it's the way that guitarist Dan Smith rips across these tracks that quickly reminds you about what real rock and roll means. Then of course you have bassist Shingi Shaniwa, but there's no question that her voice is her finest attribute, and it quickly becomes the most intriguing aspect of the entire album. And it's also the reason that the music of the Noisettes is absolutely impossible to forget. A lot of people would want to call her a diva gone wild due to the fact that most of her vocal approach is based around screaming and shouting, but at the same time there's an amazing control and almost an elegance to the way that she sings every single note. She is absolutely in a category all her own, as she shows no limit in terms of range or ability, and she has the sort of voice you have to hear firsthand to properly appreciate. The Noisettes debut is absolutely flawless, and it is pure rock and roll bliss. So if you've never heard this record, go out and grab it right now. Thank me later. Today for something new, we're going to check out the brand new release from Neil Young and Crazy Horse, and it's called Americana. This record has been very highly anticipated by tons of people, as it's the first recording in more than 15 years from Neil Young and the complete Crazy Horse lineup. However, instead of new songs, Americana is actually a reworking of 11 standards of American music. Yet the moment the album begins, that classic Neil Young feel and tone is immediately present, and it feels like it's almost a loose, laid-back jam session as opposed to an actual song, as it sort of fades into the lyrical portion of the first track. Very quickly on this album, it becomes completely obvious that Neil Young and Crazy Horse have breathed a new life into all of these songs. But at the same time, it does become a bit of a one-trick pony, as the overall tone and pace and feel of these songs is largely the same. It's really an odd balance of emotions that you get when listening to this record, because it's clear that the band is having a ton of fun in the studio recording these songs. And yet, that may be the exact reason why a lot of these songs seem to go on too long, and it slowly starts to come off as more of a novelty record than anything else. The most obvious of this condition is when these songs become outright bad, as you can hear in the case of their spin on Jesus' Chariot, and it really makes you wonder why exactly they decided to include this track on the album at all. Don't get me wrong, there are a few very good tracks on this record, but of the 11 songs on this album, well over half of them sound so similar it becomes boring. And I can't believe I just referred to anything Neil Young and Crazy Horse do as boring, but the truth is still the truth. So in the end, we have the case of an album that's not really bad, but it's just not very good considering the talent involved. So in the buy it or borrow it, I'll say this one's a borrow it. Grab the few tracks off of the record that are worth hearing, and then bin the rest of it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, leave a comment, click like, whatever you want to do. Remember that if you leave a comment here or you share this video via my Facebook page, you're automatically entered into a contest to win at least 4 of the albums I recommend at the end of the month. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I talk about the greatest music of all time at thedailyguru.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr right here, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.